is or has admitted to listening in on audio chats on its messaging service. Yes, the one that so many of you use. The company says the practice has now been paused. And that's to discuss the impact of this latest privacy breach. We've got eMedia's head of development and a local tech guru, if you want. Jason Adrian is in the studio with us. Thank you so much for coming in, Jason. You know, you're the guy we go to when we just want to make sense of all this techno lingo. What is all this fuss about?
So this is interesting. This is classic Mark Zuckerberg Facebook move, right, where you sort of infringe on people's privacy and then ask for sort of permission afterwards or roll back afterwards. So the fuss is basically that people, when they have conversations with one another, think that those conversations are private and that no one's listening in. And in this case, Bloomberg has reported that people are explicitly being hired to listen to your audio notes being sent from one person to the next and then transcribing them into text. And so according to Facebook, this is just their attempt to try and better understand the language between users and for their AI to better translate those audio notes going forward.
But do we smell a rat here?
Here's the thing, right? Do you actually want people to be listening to your conversations, your most private conversations with your parents or your loved ones or your friends? And that's the question, all right? But ultimately, as a user of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, we have to acknowledge that these people make money from advertising. And what they sell is your information and your private information to better serve their clients in targeting you with advertising.
Now, this news this week comes very shortly after companies like Apple and Google say that they had paused human review of audio a long time ago. But like you said, really we should know that they've been doing this already for the longest time. Anecdotally, I've spoken amongst friends where you've got your phone in front of you, you're standing in the kitchen, you're speaking to somebody and you're saying, you know, I really feel like we should investigate going to Portugal on holiday. Yes. And you go back onto Google or onto Facebook later on. All of a sudden, you've got adverts for Portugal, trips to Portugal, popping up on your timeline. That's not magic.
Yeah, I mean, listen, all of these devices have microphones and they're always listening. Mark Zuckerberg was dragged in front of Congress last year and he dismissed this whole thing as a conspiracy theory. He says, no, we're not listening in, we're not targeting through listening passively in the background. But as you mentioned, there's too many coincidences. They're just saying that the algorithm's amazing and therefore we can predict what you're going to be interested in. But are they really? It's just too many coincidences. And stories like this, where they're actively transcribing these conversations, sort of lends credibility to that conspiracy theory.
So is the issue here that it was human beings on the other side doing this? Because you've got, Amazon's got this technology where they have this Alexa gadget that you can speak to in your house and you can say, Alexa, turn off the lights, or Alexa, search good pizza places nearby.
Yes.
Is that okay because we believe it's just some heartless, faceless computer that's taking that information in?
I think it's partly that, but also partly I didn't explicitly give them permission to listen to me. And in the periods in which they're listening to me, I didn't know about it, right? So the whole thing...
But what does the privacy, the fine print say?
Yeah, so this is the thing. So one of the interesting loopholes here is, for example, if I've signed in to a group chat on WhatsApp on Messenger, and I said it's okay to listen to my conversations, everyone that's part of a group, for example, all of those conversations are automatically being listened to. So
it's his web.
It's very interesting, and that's what the whole Cambridge Analytica thing was. One person gave permission to this app to listen into their data, and all of a sudden, all of my friends, all their data went with it.
And they just thought all they were doing is take this test and see which Spice Girl you are. Yes. And meanwhile, what you're doing is giving access to all of your friends on Facebook and everything. So what do we do now? There's lots of talk saying, and experts on the various articles being run on this latest saga, and they're saying maybe the best thing you should do is to deactivate your app. It's very difficult to get rid of Facebook completely. It's part of our daily lives. Is it the app that perhaps is a safety issue, or is is it the microphone access?
I think just for starters, review your privacy settings across all of these platforms. And then also ask yourself, which of these platforms am I comfortable enough with to give my personal information to? Do you want Mark Zuckerberg standing in the corner listening to you speaking to your mother privately? You know, that's
No.
really what it comes down to. And you have to ask yourself whether you want these apps on your phone in the first place. They own WhatsApp, they own Instagram. You know, deleting the Facebook app on its own is not sufficient in order to get rid of these privacy leaks or data leaks. So you have to be very analytical about the apps that you use and how you use them.
Maybe we should just go back to not having cell phones with us all the time. We can phone a sentence, say, "Nommer asseblief, can I speak to my mother?" And then we'll just have one or two aunties listening to those conversations.
Absolutely.
And not somebody sitting in a call center.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's Jason Adrian, eMedia's Head of Development and all-round tech guru for us here on Upfront. Thank you so much for that insight.